When darkness surrounds you, it often does not come from outside, but from within the unseen layers of your own life. Energies attach themselves, intentions are cast, and you begin to feel the weight of something that is not yours. But just as shadows cannot survive in the presence of light, witchcraft, curses, and evil intentions cannot remain when the body is aligned with sacred protection. There is a practice, simple yet powerful, where the use of olive oil becomes more than nourishment, it becomes a shield. Anointing 7 specific points of the body creates a spiritual armor that no force of darkness can penetrate. The forehead carries a sacred significance because it is the seat of thought, the place where intention is born before it ever manifests into action. Every decision, every judgment, every vision for the future begins here. When the mind is clear, the path ahead feels open, possibilities expand, and confidence becomes natural. But when the mind is clouded by fear, deception, or confusion, even the strongest body feels weakened. It is here that witchcraft, curses, and negative energies try to strike first, because if your thoughts are corrupted, your entire being is shaken. That is why the forehead must be anointed, because in doing so you are protecting the gateway of your thoughts. You are declaring that no illusion, no deception, and no manipulative energy has permission to take root in your mind. The forehead is also symbolic of vision. It is through this point that we begin to see not only with the physical eyes, but also with the inner eye, the intuition that guides us beyond the visible. When negativity attaches to the mind, it tries to blur that vision, to make you see only obstacles, only reasons to give up, only darkness instead of light. But when olive oil is placed upon the forehead, it becomes like a lamp igniting the inner eye, clearing the fog, and returning you to a state of clarity where you can distinguish what is real from what is false. In this way, you are not only protecting yourself from external harm, but also sharpening your ability to perceive truth. The act itself may seem simple, just a drop of oil touched to the skin, but in that simplicity lies its strength. It is not the oil alone, but the intention behind it, the recognition that your mind is too valuable to be left unguarded. This action is a reminder to yourself and a signal to the unseen that your thoughts are not open ground for invasion. As the oil touches the forehead, you are in essence sealing the mind with light. You are affirming that the wisdom you carry cannot be stolen, the clarity you hold cannot be dimmed, and the visions you are destined to realize cannot be interrupted by hidden forces. Imagine how powerful life becomes when the mind is free of unnecessary burdens. Every decision flows more naturally, every challenge is faced with calm strength, and every attempt of darkness to confuse you falls flat. In such a state, you are no longer reactive to the energies of others but centered in your own truth. This is the gift of anointing the forehead. It is the reclaiming of the mind as sacred territory. And so, as the oil rests upon this point, it does more than protect, it awakens. It awakens your focus, your intuition, your discipline, and your clarity. It transforms your mind from a vulnerable target into a radiant shield. And when the mind is guarded, every other part of life follows with strength. The ears are among the most subtle yet powerful gateways of the body. From the moment we are born, they remain open, receiving sounds, words, and vibrations that shape the way we think, feel, and respond to life. What enters through the ears does not simply vanish, it settles in the mind, in the memory, in the heart. This is why negative words, curses spoken in anger, or whispers filled with jealousy can feel so heavy, even if they are not spoken directly in front of us. They travel through unseen channels and attempt to take root within us. The ears are the entry point, and if left unguarded, they allow destructive voices to influence the spirit. When olive oil is placed upon the ears, it is more than an act of protection. It is a declaration that not every voice has permission to enter. Just as you would not open your door to every stranger, you do not allow every vibration to pass unfiltered into your being. The anointing becomes a seal, closing the door to toxic influence and opening it only to wisdom, to truth, and to words that uplift rather than destroy. It is a way of telling the unseen these ears belong to peace, not to chaos. Consider how much of your daily state of mind is shaped by what you hear. A single encouraging word can ignite courage, while a careless insult can plant doubt for weeks. Music, conversations, even the tone of someone's voice all leave impressions. Witchcraft often works in the same way. It is not always loud, it is often whispered. It arrives in subtle messages, gossip, manipulative suggestions, or voices that echo in your mind long after the sound has faded. That is why protecting the ears is vital. Once negativity gains entry, it becomes difficult to separate your own thoughts from the noise implanted by others. But when the ears are anointed, they act as filters, allowing truth to flow in and sending distortion back out. The practice is also deeply symbolic. It reminds us to be mindful of what we choose to listen to. Protection is not only about guarding against external curses, but also about training discipline within. If you fill your ears constantly with complaints, with anger, or with despair, you are voluntarily weakening yourself. But if you fill them with wisdom, with silence that brings clarity, and with words that carry healing, you are strengthening your inner world. The oil simply anchors that intention in a physical way, creating a barrier against what does not serve you. When the ears are guarded, your spirit becomes calm. You no longer carry the weight of every negative word spoken against you. You begin to hear differently, not just sound, but meaning. Not just voices, but truth hidden behind them. And this clarity allows you to remain centered no matter what storms rage outside. So as the oil touches the ears, let it remind you of this. You have the power to choose which voices live within you. And in that choice, no curse, no whisper of witchcraft can take hold. The mouth holds a power that is often underestimated. Through it, thoughts transform into words, and words carry an energy that can build or destroy, heal or wound, bless or curse. What leaves the mouth does not disappear. It travels, it lands, it shapes the environment around you. This is why so many traditions speak about the power of the tongue. It can bring life to situations that feel hopeless, or it can deepen wounds that were already fragile. Witchcraft often works through words, whether spoken directly or sent into the air with intention. And so, to leave the mouth unguarded is to leave one of the most powerful tools of the spirit exposed. When olive oil is placed upon the mouth, it becomes an act of purification. It is a way of cleansing the tongue from the weight of words that were spoken in anger, in fear, or under the influence of negativity. It is also a shield, declaring that no word of destruction spoken against you will find a place to settle. Just as the ears must be protected from receiving harmful words, the mouth must be protected from both giving and receiving them. This anointing does not only silence the curses spoken against you, it transforms the energy of your own voice so that what leaves your lips carries strength, clarity, and light. Think for a moment how often life shifts because of a word. A word of encouragement can awaken strength in someone who was ready to give up. A single insult can echo for years in a person's mind. Words are not small, they are carriers of intention. Witchcraft understands this, and that is why negative speech, destructive declarations, or even whispered curses are often used as weapons. But when the mouth is anointed, these weapons lose their hold. The oil becomes a barrier, not only protecting you from external curses, but also aligning your own words with intention that uplifts rather than destroys. It also brings awareness. Once the oil rests upon the lips, you are reminded to pause before speaking, to consider the weight of each word, not just for yourself but for others. This discipline turns the mouth into a source of blessing. Imagine walking into a room and every word you speak brings calm instead of conflict, clarity instead of confusion, encouragement instead of despair. This is not simply politeness, this is spiritual strength flowing from a purified mouth. And so, the anointing of the mouth is both defense and empowerment. It blocks the curses that try to enter your life, and it amplifies the blessing that flows out from you. It turns your voice into a tool of creation, shaping the atmosphere around you with light. When the mouth is guarded, every word becomes intentional, and in that intention lies power no force of witchcraft can overcome. The hands are the instruments through which the invisible becomes visible. They are the extension of thought and intention, turning ideas into form, and carrying energy into the world through touch, work, and creation. Every day, the hands are engaged in countless acts, holding, building, comforting, giving, or sometimes even wounding. Because of this, they are also among the most spiritually exposed parts of the body. Whatever you touch, you connect with. Whatever you release through your hands carries the vibration of your inner state. And this is why the hands become a prime target for witchcraft, curses, and negative forces, because to weaken the hands is to weaken your ability to act, to create, and to manifest what is good. When olive oil is placed upon the hands, it is not simply a ritual of protection, it is a consecration. It is the act of declaring that everything these hands touch will be guided, guarded, and aligned with light. The oil becomes like a seal that prevents destructive energy from attaching itself to your work or draining your strength. Every handshake, every object you hold, every door you open is covered with protection. This anointing ensures that what passes through your hands does not become tainted by the shadows of others, nor does it carry back into your spirit the heaviness of what you encounter. The symbolism runs deeper. The hands represent responsibility. They are the tools with which you shape your life and influence the lives of others. To anoint them is to remind yourself that your actions matter, that what you release into the world has power. When the hands are purified, the work that flows from them becomes meaningful, and the energy carried through them becomes unshakable. This transforms not only your external tasks but your inner state, because every action taken with guarded hands carries a sense of discipline and awareness. Think about the weight of touch itself. A gentle touch can comfort the broken, while a harsh one can scar. A gift given with pure intention can lift burdens, while one offered with selfishness can create new chains. Hands carry more than physical strength, they carry spirit. That is why the act of anointing them creates a spiritual shield, ensuring that your touch never becomes a weapon of harm, but always a channel of healing and light. The discipline of protecting the hands also extends to restraint. Sometimes the most powerful action is not to act, not to strike back, not to carry anger into your gestures. The oil reminds you that strength is not measured by how much you grasp, but by how much you release with wisdom. To guard the hands is to align action with purpose. And so, as the oil rests upon them, the hands are no longer ordinary. They become sacred tools, protected from harm and empowered to create. And when your actions are guarded, no force of witchcraft can block the work of your destiny. The heart is the center of life, the place where emotions, spirit, and energy converge. It is more than a physical organ beating within the chest. It is the seat of courage, the dwelling place of love, and the wellspring of peace. When the heart is strong, the entire being stands firm. But when the heart is shaken, when fear takes hold or despair seeps in, the body feels weakened, and the mind becomes restless. This is why witchcraft and destructive forces often aim directly at the heart. They seek to sow seeds of fear, to ignite anger, or to cloud the spirit with heaviness that feels impossible to shake. A weakened heart becomes an open doorway for further attack. When olive oil is placed upon the chest, it is a declaration that the heart is not available for invasion. The oil acts as a shield, forming a barrier over the emotional and spiritual core of your being. It says to every force of darkness, this ground is sacred, and no fear, no despair, no manipulation can enter here. It is also a reminder to yourself that the heart is to be guarded with discipline, because from it flows not only emotion, but also strength for the entire life. Think about how the state of the heart influences everything else. When the heart is heavy, even small tasks feel overwhelming. When the heart is filled with fear, even safe places feel threatening. But when the heart is calm and strong, challenges lose their power to intimidate. The anointing with oil awakens this inner strength. It is as though the heart, once trembling, now remembers its true rhythm. The rhythm of courage, of faith, of unshakable peace. There is also deep symbolism in this act. To anoint the chest is to recognize that what you carry inside must be protected more than anything outside. It is a reminder that emotions are not meant to rule over you but to serve you. That fear is not meant to dictate your steps but to sharpen your awareness. And that love, when guarded, becomes the strongest shield of all. The oil anchors this awareness, sealing the heart from destructive forces and aligning it once again with clarity and balance. The practice also trains you to release what does not belong within. Too often, people hold on to anger, to bitterness, or to pain that was never theirs to keep. These emotions weigh heavily on the chest, suffocating joy and stealing energy. But when the heart is anointed, it becomes a space of release, a sanctuary where burdens are lifted and peace is restored. It allows the spirit to breathe freely again. And so, as the oil rests upon the heart, it protects and awakens. It reminds you that no curse, no fear, and no darkness has the power to invade the sacred center of your being. When the heart is guarded, the whole life stands unshakable. The feet carry you into your future. Every step you take is a movement toward destiny, toward experiences that shape your life, and toward paths that unfold before you. Yet just as footsteps can lead to freedom, they can also be directed into traps, distractions, or places filled with heaviness. This is why witchcraft and negative forces often attempt to obstruct the path of the feet. They try to delay progress, to block opportunities, or to lead you into directions that drain your strength. If your feet are unguarded, your journey becomes vulnerable. But when they are protected, every step carries purpose and cannot be diverted by unseen forces. When olive oil is placed upon the feet, it is more than a physical act. It is a spiritual covering, a seal that declares wherever I walk protected. No hidden snares, no curses scattered along the path, no invisible chains laid to slow me down will take hold. The oil transforms each step into a declaration of freedom, ensuring that your movement is not manipulated but guided by clarity and strength. It is a reminder that the ground you walk upon is not random. It is sacred territory marked by intention. Think of how much of life depends on the direction of your steps. A single choice, a single turn can lead to growth or to regret, to open doors or to closed ones. The feet symbolize those choices, those paths. Witchcraft often tries to create detours, delays in progress, cycles of returning to the same struggles, or feelings of being stuck no matter how much effort you make. This is why the feet must be anointed, because once they are guarded, every step is aligned with movement forward. You are no longer trapped in cycles of confusion or stumbling into obstacles unseen. Instead, your walk becomes steady, purposeful, and unshaken by hidden opposition. The symbolism also carries deeper wisdom. To protect the feet is to recognize that life is a journey, and the direction you move in shapes not only your present, but also your future. It is a reminder to walk with awareness, to be mindful of where you are heading, and to understand that even the smallest steps accumulate into a path. The oil is a physical anchor of this awareness, connecting each movement of the body with intention and discipline. There is also great peace in knowing that your steps are guarded. It allows you to walk without fear of what lies ahead, to move forward even when the road looks uncertain, and to trust that no matter how strong the darkness tries to interfere, your journey remains untouched. The feet, once anointed, carry not only your body but also your spirit with strength and protection. And so, as the oil rests upon them, the feet become more than instruments of movement. They become symbols of destiny. And when your steps are guarded, no force of witchcraft can ever block the path prepared for you.